little different. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to your favorite with your messy self story time. We're gonna be talking about not being messy and then at the same time crying that you can't find the love of your life, girl. Like seriously, this has been on my heart, my mind so much recently because, you know, I have a 16, almost 17-year-old son, and you know, he's got his little girlfriends, you know, he's got his little life. And he told me something the other day that really broke my heart, which was, Mom, you know what? I don't really think that I'm gonna fall in deep love with anybody because all these girls messy. He starts telling me his little teenage stuff, you know, everybody doing this to everybody. I don't expect anything less because they're teenagers. So I'm like, don't take us so serious. But he's like, no, Mom, it's literally everywhere. Like dating scene crazy. He has older cousins and stuff that are grown, you know, on Hinge and Tinder and all of these, you know, real quick fix type of places. There is a lack of integrity and trust in each other. And then everybody is wondering, oh my God, how come we can't find love? Oh my God, I wonder why. Girl, let me tell you something. You have every power within you to create the life that you want to create. But and however, you cannot expect for good things to come and find you if you're not putting good things out in the world, okay? Believe in what you want to believe. I personally believe in the sowing of seeds. You sow this right now, you're going to harvest whatever you sowed in the future. That what you sowed is what you're going to get. I know, it ain't making sense. Now, I don't want you guys to take offense. Actually, part of me does, okay? If you feel conviction about this, if you feel like, oh, girl, like, I don't like hearing this, probably because you're doing it, and then at the same time, you're still not happy, so maybe we can change some stuff up. Look, I'm your Thea, I'm your best friend, I'm your cousin. I'm not here to hurt you. I am here to give you the tough love that you need so you can stop crying about not having what you want in life. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it is not just about getting the bag. It's not just about grinding. It is about being a good person. What you do when nobody is around, when nobody's looking. It's called integrity. I have been married for almost 7 years. I've been with my mans for 13. I did not have any faith in love. And I'm not just saying that to be like, oh, I really wasn't looking for love. No, I really wasn't looking for love. You know why? Because I was raised by two women that had a hell of a time of men, girl. Okay. And I was raised by these women in a very defensive stance. Okay. You don't trust these men. They can wake up one day and not love you tomorrow. You know, you need to make sure that you got all your ducks in a row, and very much distrust. And of course, they're going to do that to prepare me because that's what they experienced in their life, right? Upon their own admittance, terrible picker in men. Terrible. I opened up this video with that verse specifically because I really do believe in it. When I met David, let me tell you something. Because of my past, I was so adamant. Listen, I am not about to get involved with ain't nobody. It is a waste of time. I have never seen like true love in my face. I don't think it exists. I think all these men funky and foul to the left, and I'm not gonna put up with it, okay? I'm really not. I really wanted to be left alone. I was really trying to get to California when I met David, okay? And when I met him, I remember feeling these feelings about him, and I beat myself up for it. I went home, and we, you know, started doing our talking thing, and we're on the phone for hours, you know how we do. I knew how to play with dudes. I know how to play around. I know how to not get my feelings involved. But with this one right here, my feelings were getting involved. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. No. We are not about to get our heart broken, because I was like, if I give my heart to somebody, they're gonna break my heart. Now keep in mind, I'm coming out of a relationship where this man cheated on me with somebody at the job that he could not get on his own. He could not fill out the application process on his own. And guess what he did? His funky ass went in there. And to thank me, he went and cheated. Okay, so I'm at this point in time, That's why I ended up trying to play a player. You see what I mean? My thought process, absolutely no love. Absolutely not. That's why I opened this video with that verse. Do not awaken love. Love will find you, because if you try to awaken it, you are going to get your heart broken. Specifically today, I want to talk about infidelity, whether in marriage or just girlfriend, boyfriend stuff. But it's specifically to my girls, because there is absolutely no integrity between us. There's no respect between us. There's no loyalty between us. None. All of us look at each other as, she thinks she better. Ooh, like, look at her, man. Da-da-da. Lines cross, families are broken up, and this is how it all starts, okay? So once upon a time, not long ago, y'all know I used to work at a mall, right? I used to work at the Ross at the mall. And so I started making some friends there, right? And I had this friend of mine, and she worked at, like, I think it was Buckle. It was Buckle. I'm working at Ross, and she and I used to meet up sometimes, go to the Walmart together. She was at my school. She went to my school. And at the time, like, I was trying to figure out if I wanted to go back to school or, like, my whole life was a fucking mess. So I used to talk to her about that. Me and her started getting really close. We're gonna call her Tiana, okay? Now, I would wait forever for the bus. So I would have like an hour or two to kill at the mall after work, and we would just like chill, and that's when we would have our talks the most, okay? Everybody and their mama worked at this mall. This is the same mall. Remember when I told you that I felt like the most insecure when I went to this store and it was Robert's funky ass and his brother, and I went to Charming Charlie's and the girl that worked there was so beautiful, and guess who was staring? Okay, yeah, it was at that mall. Everybody worked there. One day comes around, we're chilling, we're hanging out. I believe we had gotten like some Subway or something. We're eating, we're outside. And all of a sudden, you know, we're in the middle of a conversation. All of a sudden she looks up and she's like, oh my God, girl, I forgot to tell you. So you see that guy over there? I look over, I see this guy. He looks very familiar. And she was like, that's Carlos. And I was like, oh yeah, girl. Of course, he had gone to our school. He had already graduated, okay? He's a little bit older than us. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I didn't know he worked over here. Me and him are talking. Mr. Carlos had been working at GameStop. So she was like, yeah, you know, me and him, you know, we've been kind of talking a little bit recently. And I was like, what? You know, like, I'm just like, oh my God, that's so cute. I'm gonna text him right now. And then she straight up, she stopped, looked at her phone and looked at the time, and she goes, oh no, I can't. And I was like, why? In a nutshell, girl, she's telling me that she can only text him and call him at certain times because of his girlfriend. He has lunches with his girl, which is probably where he's headed right now. And he lives, hear me when I tell you, lives with his girl, okay? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, what you mean? Wait, what? He's got a girl. She was like, yeah, but, and here we go. Tell all this time. Tell me if you've heard either yourself say this or your girl say this.
But he's not happy with her. He's really not happy with her. And they just like, he's miserable with her. And he's trying to save up his money to get his own apartment. But like for right now, you know, for bills and stuff, like they're still living together. So like, I just try to be respectful and like try not to like call or text when he's like with her.
I'm sorry. Call me a judgy friend all you want to. I am not okay with any of my girls being a side chick. I don't want y'all to be Sanchas. I don't want y'all to do any of that. Mostly because y'all worth more than that. So of course I'm looking at my girl and I'm like, I know you lying. So I start questioning her in my normal Nikki fashion, and back then I was very loud and I was like, I know you lying. You got this boy with you on a leash, okay? Telling you when you can and cannot call, when you can and cannot text, because not only does he have a girl, but he lives with her. And I'm repeating to her what she's saying to me. Like, do you hear? Do you hear with your ears? Are you hearing what you're saying? Here we go. Girl, it really isn't like, okay, like he's in the process. Like it's really not like that. And he's so sweet and so nice. Like I've been taking my little brother into GameStop. She would take her little brother in. She would like to go get a game or whatever, to go talk to Carlos. Carlos would give her a little discount. They exchanged numbers, and that's how they started talking. So she had been going over there during his workday, sneaking off during her little 15-minute breaks to go over there and talk to Carlos. But when Carlos walked out that building, off limits. She could only text him or call him at night after a certain time. Or he would give her like a little go ahead and be like, oh, I can talk right now. She gonna sit up here and tell me, yeah, you know, like the other night we were on the phone and like, it was so close. Like he had to hang up on me because she walked in the room. She was like, and I just cannot wait until they're not living together anymore. And I was like, okay. Here we go. She's sowing these seeds. She's messing with this boy. It's not a big deal. He's in a relationship, but he's trying to get out of it. It really ain't no big deal. So I'm just going to go ahead and like follow his rules for now. But you know, in the future, he gonna be mine. And I was like, okay, all right. I can't wait to see how this works out. Fast forward, okay? Tiana, Carlos, They're doing their own little thing. I think there was like a gap there where I wasn't working for a little bit and I was like looking for a job. My family came in from out of town, my brother, my tia, my grandma, right? And one day we wanted to have like a family outing, so we take them to the mall. There's like this little outdoor area. I'm out there with my family and everything. I see Tiana walk past and I'm like, oh, hey girl. And it had been a minute since I had seen her because I wasn't working at Ross anymore. And so she sees me and she's like, Nikki, where the fuck have you been? As many times as my friends used to be like, where have you been? Because I used to just disappear all the time, as y'all know, okay? I quickly introduced her to my family, and then I step away, to kind of like have a conversation with her. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how have you been? Like, what's up? And, we're catching up. And I was like, yeah, so how, you still at Buckle? Like, how's it been going? And she was like, girl, no. Girl, I got fired. And I was like, you got fired? And she was like, yeah. She's like, I gotta tell you what happened, girl. I gotta tell you. And I was like, okay. We sit down on this bench and she goes into story time. She gonna sit up here and tell me, you remember Carlos? And I was like, yes, I remember Carlos. Good news, bad news. And I was like, okay. She was like, good news is we're together. That's my man's. And I was like, okay. She was like, also, he moved out of the apartment with his girl, and now he's living with his parents for a little bit, back on his feet or whatever, but like, he's my man's. And I was like, okay, like, fantastical. Like, I'm glad it worked out. I mean, I stand corrected. I should have waited for the bad news first, okay? She gonna sit up here and say, bad news is I lost my job because his girl came into the store fighting with me because she found out about me. And she had gone through his phone and knew where I worked. And she came into the store and they threw hands in the store. Girl, what I would have given to be a fly on the wall for that one, okay? I mean, Tiana looked like she could fight, but I could be wrong. So we had like an altercation of sorts and I lost my job. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, so where are you working now? Now she's working at a frozen yogurt place. They don't have enough hours that she used to have, and she's not making nearly as much money as she was making at Buckle. She took a step down in her life because of everything that happened between her and this man's girlfriend, okay, and her place of work. I'm looking for another job because, like, this is barely even covering my phone bill, girl. And I was like, okay, she was like, I'm trying to get a car, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And the whole time I'm looking at her like, you sure do got a lot of goals. And like, honestly, this situation really set you back quite a bit. Like if we're looking at it for what it is, okay? Here I go. I'm trying not to be judgy. And I was like, okay, but it's okay. Cause we're going to figure it out. And we're thinking about getting an apartment a little ways down, near this other mall. So I think I'm going to start applying over there. And I was like, okay. So her and Carlos are thinking about moving together. So she's like, I'm not trying to like reapply anywhere around here. I'm not really looking that much because we're going to be moving. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, wow, a lot has changed. Like, oh my God. So fast forward. So I get my tea and, I got to return back to my family. So I'm like, okay, girl, well, it was good seeing you. And I wish you the best of luck. And I really, I hope you and Carlos are happy. And like, y'all have like, just like kumbaya happiness, okay? I go back to my family. I go on with my day. Everything's all good. That was like a little sippage of tea. But at the end of the day, my girl's happy. She got what she wanted. She got the mans that she wanted. They're going to be getting an apartment together. Yes, okay? Fast forward. I am at Walmart with Robert's funky ass and his brother and his mom, okay? And we're doing a big grocery haul. His mom would go like one way and we would end up splitting up and go get other things and then come back, right? So me and Robert's funky ass, we're walking around together through the aisles. And we're like near some of the clothes. And all of a sudden, Robert was like, Carlos, what's up, dude? Like, they start dabbing each other up and I'm like, oh shit. I look over, it's Carlos. It's Carlos. And I was like, oh, hey. And like, I knew him, but I didn't know him, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And so Robert kind of does like an impromptu little, oh yeah, this is my girl. You remember Nikki? Yeah, this is my girl. And he was like, oh, I didn't realize y'all were still together, da-da-da. And so, my messy ass, y'all know I'm messy as fuck. I know that we didn't talk a whole lot in school. I was like, but I do remember that you were talking to my girl, Tiana. I was like, how are you guys? When that comes out of my mouth, why the hell does this girl come around from the corner and she's like, I'm sorry, what? Is his girlfriend? Is his girlfriend? It's literally his girlfriend. I've never met her before, but I could tell because like she straight up like stood beside him like, what? Like that's a girlfriend right there. And I was like, I would take that as a... sorry, like I'm so sorry. The last I heard, bitch, they were getting an apartment. So I was like, wait a minute, I'm so sorry. Like, and she was like, Tiana? So, I'm not gonna back down. Like, it is what it is. Like, yeah, that's my girl. Like, what you gonna do about it? Because I was real quick to get into fights. You already know. So I was like, yeah, I hope your little friend got her ass beat. because she likes fucking around with dudes that got girls. And I was like, at that point, girl, Robert's looking at me and he's literally like, please don't, like, please. And I was like, it's very hard for me at this time to walk away from a fight. Cause like the way she was talking, like, girl, who you talking to? Was I the one? No. So literally I looked at her and I was like, I don't know who you talking to. I didn't do nothing to you. So like, please, like, take it down a notch. I know. She was like, but you know, since that's your friend and everything, all right then, all right, well, like, I'm just gonna go. Like, you know, I started backing up. Robert immediately starts backing up and he's like, oh shit, okay, well, like, we gonna go. Y'all have a good night. Da da da, right? So it was very awkward. And this girl is staring at me upside my head, girl. And if I didn't have my head on straight at that moment, I probably would have gotten into a fight. Useless, needless, meaningless fight. Because this girl decides to get an attitude with me because my homegirl was over there being messy, okay? And I did not mean to be messy. I didn't see her. And the last I heard was the last I heard, okay? So she can't stand me. We go back. And we find Robert's funky ass's mom and his brother. And there goes Robert's funky ass telling his brother all the tea. And he's like, and then Nikki is gonna sit up here and be all messy and like start, you know, trying to fight her. And I was like, I wasn't trying to do nothing. Like, don't say that. Like, literally, it was a question. I genuinely wanted to know. I didn't know if Tiana was here. What if my girl was here? Like, the last I heard, they were together. What you mean? So, girl, like, they were both looking at me like, why are you so messy? Like, every time I turn around, I was like, y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. Shut it. So, girl, it was a whole thing. Why? Immediately upon getting back to the house, I get on the good old FB page, girl, because me and her were friends on Facebook. And I messaged her. And I was like, hey, I done ran into Carlos at the Walmart, okay? Y'all not together no more? Like, what happened? You know, I'm like trying to get the scoop, right? She messages me back the next day and she's like, what's your number? I was like, oh shit. She ends up calling me, okay? Robert's playing his stupid little game and I see this number that I don't recognize calling me. So I answer and she was like, hey, is this Nikki? And I was like, immediately, I was like, Tiana, what's up? How are you? And she was like, girl, immediately she's like, so where did you see him? Like, and the way that she's asking me questions, I'm like, yeah, like I saw him at Walmart. Like, why? And I was like, are y'all still together? And she gonna sit up here and tell me no, but that he owes me so much money. He owes me so much money. And I was like, what are you talking about, girl? Girl, sit down. You remember how I told you guys they were trying to get an apartment together? She went ahead and she got a job. She ends up getting a job over on that side of town. And she starts going over there on her own. She's getting rides from her brother, her cousins, riding the RTD because it's kind of far. But, you know, she's trying to plant her roots over there because her and her mans are about to get an apartment. So then, you know, he starts meeting her over there sometimes. They start going to look at apartments. She had just turned 18. Okay, cool. They put in like their information, their application fees, all of that, cool. And then they start getting into first month's, last month's deposit, okay? Y'all probably already know where this is going, girl. So they're getting paid on a bi-weekly basis or whatever the case may be. He talking about, you know, his next paycheck, he'll be able to cover it, but can she cover it for right now? She goes ahead and she gets a hold of her dad because she's a daddy's girl. Hey, dad, you know, I really want to do this. Can you front me the money? And then, you know, me and my man will pay you back at this time. Her dad, she tells me that her dad doesn't like this dude. And so he's like giving her some pushback. And he was like, I don't want you living with him, but like, fine. And he was like, you know, you better make sure that this man pays me back my money. Like, I'm not asking it from you. I'm asking it from him. And so her dad fronts the money. First month's, last month's deposit, plus the application fee. Cool. They get their little cute little move-in date. She starts packing up her little room. Everything's all good. They get the keys to the apartment. Her dad and her brother start taking stuff over and it's an empty apartment and she's so excited and she has both of the keys and she's like, okay, and she's texting Carlos like, you know, we got the keys. Like, I can't wait for you to be here after work. No response. She calls him, no response. She knows when he gets off work. She's like, what the fuck? Calls him, no response. Text him, no response. She was like, Nikki, I must have called this man over 100 times. I was freaking out. She slept on the floor of that apartment by herself. Calling and texting, losing her shit, crying, upset. And this man never showed up. He never showed up. It took him like 2 to 3 days to get back to her. This isn't gonna work. Things have changed. This isn't gonna work. I don't remember the reason he gave her, but in a nutshell, he ain't gonna be there. He cannot commit to this. He cannot pay the rent. He cannot do it. So she is in this apartment, in this lease, by herself. Did I mention that she was the only one on the lease? He's 18 and got himself involved in a car note. That car ended up getting repossessed. So guess who had bad credit? Guess whose credit it was? Hers. So guess who's on the hook? The reasoning that he gave her was outside of the realm of anything having to do with relationships or anything. So she's calling me. Who was he with? Was he there by himself? Was he there with his mom? Was he there with his brothers? Like, I cannot get a hold of him. He won't answer my calls anymore. I've even tried to go to the house. I have knocked on the door. They won't answer it for me. Like, just tell me, like, what did he look like? Like, she's just trying to get an update. And it had been 2 months at this point in time, 2 full months since she's heard from him last. And I hated it. I hated it. What I thought was just going to be a very simple, hey, what's up? Oh, that's cute. Okay, bye. It turned into, Nikki, you're the last person to have seen him, and I need you to tell me everything you done seen. Well, you know I could tell stories, bitch, okay? So I'm going to tell my friend. He was not by himself. He was not by himself. I didn't know her name. So I told her my faux pas. I told her about putting my foot in my mouth and asking about her and another girl coming around a corner. Before I went any further, I said, what's she look like? You know, she's short. She's got like blonde hair at the bottom and like dark roots. And like, you know, she's like, you know, real chichona. You know, she got big chiches or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's who I saw him with. And she was like, Nikki, are you serious? And I was like, as a heart attack, girl. I was like, and I know it was her because she heard me ask about you because I didn't know Tiana. I was like, I had no idea that y'all weren't talking anymore. I thought you might have been there. I don't know. I was like, and she told me that she whooped her ass. Why my girl quiet? She didn't even say, no, she didn't. Like, she didn't deny it at all. She just like stayed silent. I was like, okay, we'll leave that there. You got your ass whooped because you were messing with somebody else's man. I don't know if she dropped the phone. I don't know if she fell. I don't know what. I just hear, boo, 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 boo. I just hear like ruckus. I hear like scuffling, okay? She is in hysterics. She is crying. She is like blubbering. She is like, I can't believe he did this to me. He's back with her. Do you know how much I had to pay? I had to have my dad pay a break lease fee. And like, I owe him so much money. And like, I am so embarrassed. And like, it took me, oh my God. And like, now I'm back at my parents' house. And like, I don't have any savings. I don't have a car. I don't have this. I don't have that. How could he do this to me? How could he do this to me? Are you sure it was her? Are you sure? And I was like, girl, I got my eyes. I seen it. He was with her. I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. And literally, I'm a teenager too. I wish that I had the means to help her because it broke my heart. Hearing my friend that broken and that heartbroken and that her life was set back quite a bit because of this situation. Now, this story is one of many, unfortunately, that I have seen with my friends. Here's how the story goes, okay? For some reason, we will see a man, right? Oh, he's cute. And then we find out in some way, shape, or form or fashion that they are in a relationship, okay? And for some reason, that makes them more attractive. Ooh, he could do commitment. Ooh, he could do a relationship. Okay. And then you have this instance that happens where women think that they can do a better job of taking care of that man than the woman that he's already with. She's doing something wrong. She's not taking care of him. She's falling short. Let me take care of this man. But what you are failing to understand is that this man lacks integrity. He lacks respect. And it's not about the individual themselves. It's not about her and it's not about you. And for some reason, women will feel, they'll feel validated like, yes, he picked me. Did he? Did he? No, did he? I'm just kidding. He didn't pick you. He picked somebody. And if it ain't you, it'll be somebody else because that's in his nature. And until he gets himself healed and he gets himself some act right, how you get him is how you lose him. Why do you think that exists? So I don't care how cute he is. I don't care what he's spurting at the mouth. Oh, we're still married, but we're separated. And I promise we're on our way to get a divorce. Oh, we're still living together, but we're trying to get different apartments. Oh, but I'm just so unhappy. Or like they call you secretly. Oh my God, she's getting on my nerves. Oh my God. And they start talking shit about the woman that they're with. Cut it off. Cut it off, girl. Cut it off. That is not the type of man that you want as your head. Stop looking at these relationships as some little play. If you actually want something worthwhile, what you sow is so important. It's important. I hated it, girl. Let me tell you something. I'm not telling you to be blind. It's okay. Oh, he's cute. He's good looking. He's handsome. The minute that you even get an inclination that that boy is involved with somebody else, leave it alone. Stop doing that to each other. Not only are you not going to come out on top, it's impossible. It's impossible. You cannot convince me no different. If a man is in a committed relationship and he is looking at you all lusty, that is in him. So guess what? For now, he'll choose you. And let's just say you do get the mans. And y'all end up getting married. Y'all end up getting a house. Y'all end up doing... Guess what? If he doesn't get that shit healed, he'll do it again. You know why? Because there's something missing in him and he needs validation and he needs, he's got wandering eyes. And in the back of your mind, because I have asked all of my friends that have done this, in the back of your mind, you can't help but think, when he gets a new job, ooh, is he going to be around somebody else? Ooh, is he going to start talking to somebody else? You know why? Because that's how he started talking to you. So what a foundation to start a relationship on. You're starting it on rocky ground already, girl. No. Riddle me this. How is it that a man can sit up here and be like, I'm just like, we're in the process. There's always a process, right? We're in the process of getting out of this relationship, but you can still keep talking to me because like, I want what I want. Okay. I want that tarantra, but like, I'm still in this situation, but they cannot even fathom. Ask them to cheat on their barber. I'll wait. Ask them to cheat on their barber. How you gonna have more loyalty for your haircuts than you do your girl, homie? What you mean? So I know they got commitment, just not for you, because they want what they want. Stop allowing them to play you like a fucking fiddle, okay? And stop, for the love of God. Stop looking at a man and looking at a girl. And you know what pisses me off even more is that there are some girls that can literally visually see this other girl. How do you see another girl and decide in your heart and in your mind she ain't worth shit? It's okay. I don't give a damn if she's going to be heartbroken. I don't give a damn if she got kids by him. I don't care. Everybody going to say, well, it's on the man, it's on the man, it's on the man. Both of y'all need to take accountability. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. I'll tell you right now, 100%. I've been around men that know that I am married. They are in a relationship. Why are they over here flirting? You know what? It's his fault. Not my problem. But wouldn't it still be my fault for not having integrity in myself to be like, if you don't stop it right now? Do you know how many men I've had to be like, don't do that. Don't do that. Also, if a man, I know it's rare, but it happens. It just happened at a recent wedding that I was a part of. Okay, I was in a wedding. I'm a bridesmaid, and David wasn't in the wedding. Okay, so I have to walk down with another dude. And trust and believe me, this was on my mind. This is my mind's eye. Okay, I meet this man, and we have to do rehearsal. And he's hella tall. He's like 6'1", 6'2". Okay, you got to do like the linking of the arms, the armage, and I don't know. And I remember like David joking about it. David joked about it one time. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to see you walking down the aisle with that dude and be like, is this what you like? And David deals with everything as a joke, okay? I know my husband, when things kind of sort of bother him, when it kind of like, makes him feel a little weird, he'll try to make a joke out of it. I know my husband. So I knew that it was in his mind, a little bothersome. It made him a little, that I was going to be walking with another man. Okay. I'm his wife. At the core of it, is it a big deal? No, it's a little hook or whatever. But still at the same time, I love my husband, and anything that I see that is even going to cause him even an iota of uncomfortability, I rethink it. And I really ask myself, is it completely necessary? Okay. We start rehearsal and we have to, we practice going down this aisle, and this man, I don't reach for him and he doesn't reach for me. Start talking about like the proper way to do it. And the bride tells all of us, you don't have to lock arms. It's really, whatever you guys are comfortable with. So she puts it on all of us, like whatever y'all are comfortable with, right? And this man looks at me and he goes, I would rather not. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I got a girlfriend and she's at home. She doesn't know anybody here and I just don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. What a sweetheart. Oh my God, say less. And I literally looked at him and I was like relieved. And I was like, say less. Because like, it need not, like, it's not about it being a big deal. It is about the respect and boundaries. And this man is telling me, I just don't want my girl to feel uncomfortable when she sees these pictures. And so like, if we just couldn't, this is the part. This is the part. Okay? If a man is sitting up there telling you, I don't care what your thoughts and opinions are about his relationship and their dynamic and their boundaries, because guess what? It ain't none of your business. If he is telling you, no thanks. Why do I start hearing chirping? It's not a big deal. Just do it anyway. Some other girls, okay? Telling him, they overhear what he's telling me. It's really not a big deal. Like, it's really sad that, and of course it becomes a conversation later. It's just really sad. And they put it on her. It's just really sad that, she just takes all this so serious, and it's really sad that there's no trust. No, absolutely not. That's not the sad part. The sad part is y'all ain't got no respect for nobody. I don't give a damn what you think. This man should only have to tell you for the one time. But do you know how many women in my position would have been like, it's not really that big of a deal. Come on, let's just go. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Who are you to be telling another woman what her boundaries should be? Wouldn't you want your boundaries to be adhered to when another woman is around your man when you finally find love? And this is what I'm talking about with sowing of the seeds. Whatever it is that you want for yourself, you need to be doing unto others. When I was single, if I found a man that was looking at me all lusty and I found out that he had a girlfriend, immediately disgusted, because I could see right through it. You're trash. You're absolutely trash. I'm not messing with you. Stop setting yourself up with these men that clearly have integrity issues. Because you know what? What you're not thinking of, everybody thinks of love as like the surface, cuddly, feel good. Oh, I'm in love. And love is a beautiful thing. But guess what else it is? Ugly. And it's hard. And it's painful. Not because of turmoil within the relationship. No. What you are misunderstanding and not seeing the big picture of is that this person is going to be in your life through heartbreak. Somebody dies in your family. You lose your parents, your mom gets cancer, you, God forbid, get sick, you have a baby, you go through postpartum. And if you sat there and said, she's just not taking care of him right, she just ain't taking care of her man, all of a sudden, you will wake up one day not feeling your best, not looking your best. You just had a baby. You're going through postpartum depression. And this man is so self-centered and so selfish and arrogant and lusty that he will take that moment where you are not at your best and you're not looking all cute and not like the way that he met you. And guess what he will do? He will go out there and find somebody else, because that is the type of man that he is, because that's what he did to her. If she wasn't at her best, if she was going through something and his first inclination was to find you. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? I hope that I am reaching some of y'all. And please don't get mad at me. I want what's best for all of y'all. I want y'all to find y'all's person. The core of it needs to come from you. I don't care what he's trying to do. I don't care if it makes you feel good. It should make you feel bad for her. We need to stick up for each other. Do you know how many men I tell, don't do that? One time I went out with my best friend, and I am out there as a whole ass married woman, okay? I am not here to be like, talking to everybody. There are men looking, that's fine, I got my ring, that's cool, and I can very clearly, I got a mouth and I can say no. These men are gonna sit up here and be like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm married. I mean, I got a girlfriend, like, who's talking about that? Me? Stop them in their tracks. Stop allowing that type of infidelity and that arrogance and that ickiness to make you feel good. What is it that he's saying out of his mouth that is validating you? Hurting somebody else? Belittling somebody else? How many times are they gonna come to us and start complaining about one of our own? And this is where this competitive nature comes through. I'm not competing with nobody. I'm not competing with nobody. And also, I will not put David in the position to feel like he has to compete with another man. I am in control of that. You understand? So when it comes to what it is on your vision board or what it is that you are looking for in your life, make sure that the seeds that you are sowing reflects that. What you are doing in the dark, how you got into this relationship. And if that relationship was based off of hurting somebody else, and you have fooled yourself into thinking that you're not gonna get hurt in this situation, girl, don't be like my friend Tiana. And everybody's like, well, it's his. Nah, it's our responsibility too. Like, stop trying to poo-poo this off. You're right. If you sit there and you look at this man who has made vows, especially married men, it's a vow. It's not a pinky promise. It's not a pop ring promise, girl. It is a vow. It is a covenant. And the problem with our society now is that we have no reverence for anything. Everything and everyone is replaceable. How many bodies in your bed are actually worth their weight in salt? I have disappeared off of this platform. I have been tearing into my spirit. I have been tearing into my soul, and it takes you having to really dig in, okay? I have been dealing with my trauma. I have been dealing with childhood shit. And do you know the person that has been next to me the entire time? Do you think that I looked my best? Do you think that I felt my best? Do you think that I was his sexy wife during that time? No. But it still doesn't give him clearance to go out there and start, lusting after girls that have their shit together right now. It doesn't matter. Stop being okay with these men talking about your sister like that. We need to come together, and maybe they'll learn that if they ain't gonna get no play, maybe they should do some inner heart work so they stop doing that to girls. And then guess what? Oh my God, hold up, because I'm preaching, hold up. I have met a man in my life who was fucking around with 2 girls at one time. And I overheard with my own ears that he enjoyed them fighting each other. He enjoyed it. Made him feel good. Stroked his ego. Because 2 girls are fighting over me. I know you lying, not 2 queens. That is what they like. They love it. Oh my God. Do you know how important you are making them feel? But then when they get you, you believe that when they finally get you, that they are going to that trait is just going to all of a sudden... And I'm not sitting here trying to beat down on men. The same thing applies to women. Stop it. If you got a man at home, you not happy with him, or y'all going through some stuff, stop going to work and going to flirt with them men that you work with. Stop trying to be flirtatious and all sultry with other men and disrespecting him like that. Work on it. And if you don't want to work on it, you have no business being in a relationship. If you're not going to build him up when he's down, you think that I haven't seen David depressed? You think that I haven't seen him in his darkest, lowest moments? And guess what? Life is nothing but ebbs and flows. Who is going to be there? And if you see that there's a crack in it, if at your weakest moment, where are they? That will tell you very clearly if they are made for you. Because this is what y'all not understanding. Y'all are getting with other people's wives and other people's husbands. Why? I don't believe and you can just find your love anywhere, anyhow. Nah, let me make myself very clear. The way that I was raised, the experiences that I had, somehow, some way, is exactly what David needed, and vice versa. Let me give you an example. I doubt myself a lot as a mother. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I don't know if this is the right decision. I did not have an ordinary mother. My mother was gone a lot. She had to work a lot. There was no PTA meetings. There was no packing lunches. There was no dropping off at school. There was no sports. There was none of that. There was literally none of that, okay? My mom could barely make it to my step competitions. It was very hard for her, and this is not to knock my mother. It was the situation that we were in. But however, because of that, here I am, married with 3 kids, taking my boys to school and teaching my little girl and packing lunches and PTA meetings and, trying to get my son into leadership and stuff like that. I am in the unknown. I don't know. I'm trying my best, and I'm just like going with the flow, and I hope that this is right. And God gave me a husband that understands the importance of a mother because he lost his mother when he was a kid. So even though I'm so hard on myself, he looks at me and he tells me just this morning, you're such a good mom. You're a great mom. And when the kids grow up, they're going to tell you that all the time. You're such a good mom. Do you think that a man that had 2 parents in the same home and grew up very differently than me would feel the need that I have the need that I have to be reassured in my motherhood, do you think that they would have the ability to do that? No. My experiences help with David. I see the importance of David's role because I didn't have a dad. You understand? It would not be the same if he got with La Princesa, that is a daddy's girl that calls her dad for everything. She may not see what I see. There's a reverence there because of how we were raised individually that aid in us being together. So stop just looking at this as topical. You understand? If you go out there and you hurt others, expect yourself to be hurt. If you go out there and you sow these types of seeds, don't be upset when weeds come up. I have been with this man for so long, and if you think that I haven't seen women look at him with lust in their eyes, they see who he is and they admire it. And instead of saying, oh man, I like those traits that he has, whatever A, B, and C, that's what I'm gonna look for in my partner. They try it as, oh, I want that. This one wasn't created for you, hunty. He was not created for you. You have somebody that was created for you. The needs that you have, they will be able to understand. Marriages don't work. Families are broken because there's a lack of integrity. What do you do when nobody is around? You know that it's wrong. You try to justify it. If this man is worth his weight in salt, he will make sure that all of that is taken care of properly before he talks to you. Not only out of respect for you, but out of respect for her. I don't know who I'm talking to today, but all I'm saying is don't be like Tiana. Don't argue with me about being a good person. Because that's essentially what I'm telling you guys, is to be a good person. The likelihood of it working out is neither here nor there. That's irrelevant. You are trying to make a case out of being a dishonest person and participating in somebody else's heartbreak. And no matter how you spin it, it is not okay. Now that my glamazons are becoming a little bit more grown, they're getting into, they're coming into themselves, they're in college, you guys are graduating high school right about now. I want to grow along with you guys. And I understand the world that y'all are living in. And I know nobody takes relationships seriously, nobody. But if you are desiring a relationship that is going to last the test of time, please heed my warning. And the first lesson is do not build your relationship on rocky, icky foundation. Falling in love should not come at somebody else's expense. I'm speaking from experience. When you were the least focused on it, focused on your growth, focused on your mental health, focused on your family and friendly connections, focused on your education, focused on what it is that you are trying to, not the bag, not the money, not fame, yourself, your health, your wellness inside and out. And when you are doing that and your focus is purely on that, love will find you. I did not have to go out there and find David. He said it in his vows to me. Hold on. This is my husband's vow book. This is what he wrote our vows in when we got married. I'm not exactly sure what I did to deserve you. I often think about the night we met and the 100 things that had to happen, exactly how they happened, exactly when they happened in order for us to meet. I fell in love with you and I had no conflict over how fast it happened. I'm not gonna read you all my baby's vows, okay? But that's what he's talking about. The 100 things that had to happen, exactly when they happened, exactly how they happened in order for us to meet. Because there was no app, it was by chance. And I understand that you guys are living in a different time. Girl, I fell in love in 2011, okay? But I do believe in natural love like that. Because I feel like everybody's just trying to make it happen on their own time. Girl, it ain't your time. It ain't your time. So just sit down, relax, stop trying to go after other people's mans. And men, stop trying to go after other people's women's. And stop hurting each other. Have some respect and regard for other people. And if he's not doing it, you do it. That's what I expect out of my glamour zone. Let me find out one of y'all somebody stancha. Let me find out, because you don't even deserve that. You don't. Girl, don't make me yell. I hope that you guys, enjoyed it and learned something from it. Please don't get offended. I say it out of love. I want what's best for every single one of y'all. And I have been really, while I've taken this time away from my platforms, I have been really soul searching. What is my purpose? Because I can't just continue to be on here ratchet. Okay, I'm a mother. If there's anything I can do is spread good in the world and remind you guys what you deserve. But also at the same time, you know what? It ain't all about you. It ain't all about me. What does she deserve? Can we look out for each other? Can we stop hoping for each other's downfall? Can we stop looking and coveting other people's things? If it was meant for you, it would be for you. And if it ain't right now, then stop trying to make it so, okay? Because you're gonna get yourself hurt and then the other person hurt too. You understand? You understand? We good? We good? We here? We here? Okay, I love y'all so much. I got to go. I love y'all so, so much, but God loves you more, and I will see your fine self in my next video. Peace out, y'all. Be good. Make me proud, girl.